Broadcasting live from the WGBB World Headquarters here in New York. This is the Big Fat Joey Show with your host, Big Fat Joey.
Hey, Sin, good morning. Big Fat Joey, Big Fat Joey Show. Biggest thing on radio. What's up?
Good morning. It's Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday Fun Day. Cold Sunday. Not so fun day.
Well, I woke up. I was like, I am not walking. It is too freezing here.
Yeah, I think with the wind chill, I think we're in the low teens for the coldness. But you know what? Just about 60 days away, a little less than that, 58 days, give or take, will be the official beginning of spring.
Well, I'm counting down. I'm over this already. Really over it.
So am I. But you know what? You know who's not over the cold?
Who's not over the cold?
Our next guest.
I am so excited. We have Meredith Marks from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
And what a great treat it was to have Meredith on with us. She talks all things Salt Lake City Housewives. She talks about her career and
her jewelry line.
Yes, she has a fantastic jewelry line. She sells a lot of jewelry to the stars, and she's out there doing her thing. But also today, she did her thing with you, played a little this or that, everyone's favorite radio game.
Yes, we had a lot of fun. I love all our housewives, but Meredith was special and awesome.
Yeah, Meredith spoke about, having to travel a lot, moving around from Canada, Chicago, where she grew up, over, I believe, in Ohio, there was a stint, and now over in Salt Lake City. And, we're here complaining about the cold, and
I don't know how she does it with heels.
Right. We really didn't get any snow this year. I mean, I believe we're supposed to get some snow Monday night to Tuesday. Then again, maybe Thursday, a couple inches. But, anyone's ever been out to Utah, they get some real deal snow.
Well, the views are absolutely beautiful on the show. Meredith was such the sweetie, and we had a good time.
Super sweet, super nice. It was great to speak with her. And then so apropos, she was going to be on, and she was, that following Wednesday, she was on
Watch What's Happening Live with Andy Cohen.
We love Andy. We love Watch What's Happening Live. It was great to see her on there as well. But it's a fun interview, and it was so nice for her to play this or that with Sin. Sin had a great time.
Yes, lots of fun. And who else do you have?
We also have on a singer, songwriter, ballerina, and actress. Don't get to say ballerina too often on this show. We have Empress. Empress, singer, songwriter. She's done a full circle. Born out in California, she became one of the youngest members of the San Francisco Ballet. And through her career and her love of all things arts and entertainment, she became the lead actress in the Tony Award-winning production of An American in Paris on Broadway. So we have her coming on today. She's going to talk all things about her music. We're going to hear her new single, which was just released last December, SnowGlobe. And we're going to wait and hear all about her latest EP, We Own This Crown, which is coming out in spring 2021. But up next is mine and Sin's interview with Meredith Marks from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the show Meredith Marks from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Meredith, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
I am great, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being on. I have my co-host here with us, Sin.
Hi, Meredith. Thanks for coming. We're so excited. We love all our housewives.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So how's the season going? We are loving it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you are loving it. That's a positive. And it's all, we're getting towards the tail end. And I feel like everyone's gotten to know us a little bit better. So it's all going very well.
And didn't that go quick? It was just the other day. The season just started. And I'm like, wow, that's November already? That's 3 months ago. We're coming into February. I said, wow, this is going quick.
Yeah, well, I guess in COVID, this is one of the few bright spots, right? It's flying by.
Yes.
Yes. Thank goodness for Bravo TV. We're big fans of all the Housewives franchises, Below Deck, everything that's out there. We enjoy, watching a lot of Bravo. Love watching Andy at night.
Well, you have to watch What Happens Live tomorrow night because I will be on it with Heather Gay.
Yes, we saw that. I'm so excited.
I know, we saw that. It's like, oh wow, look at that! How coincidental that we're going to be speaking with you the day before you're on with Andy.
And I'm excited to see what you're going to wear too.
I think you'll love it.
I
but
love
it's not
all
gonna
your
be a shock.
outfits. I have to tell you that pink dress for the birthday party is gorgeous.
Oh,
You
thank
looked
you so
so
much.
pretty.
That's from Christian Cowan, who is a very talented designer and a very dear friend.
I love it. That color is gorgeous. It looked so pretty on you. And I had to also tell you before we even get into anything, does anyone ever say that you look like Brooke Shields? Because you do.
Thank you. I think that's a huge compliment.
It is. She's
absolutely stunning. And yes, I get that quite often, actually.
okay. I was
But,
wondering. I was
thank
like,
you.
wow, you really
Beauty.
do. And gorgeous, just gorgeous.
Someone said I looked like Brad Pitt once, or maybe a Pitt. I'm not quite sure. I kind of just assumed it was Brad Pitt they were referring to. So I'll take that. I'll take that for what it's worth. So, how did someone who, and I know you value your privacy, how did you get on or get involved in being one of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Because obviously you knew that your life's going to be on camera. You got all these cameramen and women following you around. How did that come to be?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting process to acclimate to. Really what happened was a couple of years ago, a friend of mine who is also friends with Lisa Barlow sent us a group text just saying, her husband's college roommate is a producer in LA. They wanted to do a reality show in Utah. Would I speak with him? And I said, sure, of course. I didn't realize it was for casting purposes. I thought they kind of just wanted to pick my brain and learn a little bit more about Utah and, having a store on Main Street, stuff like that. And then they asked to do a Skype, and I sort of realized that it was actually to be on the show. And it took me some time to get my head around the process and doing this and being sure I really wanted to go down that path because I am a private person. And it was a real process for me to learn to open up. And it's been very, very positive for me in my personal development and growth to do that.
Well, you definitely let it all hang out there. And I give all of you credit for that because, I'm not that private of a person, but, all your inner details of life, good, bad, and the ugly is out there for the world to see. And as we all know, there are, a lot of people who, keyboard warriors, they like to give their unsolicited opinions online about, good, bad, or the ugly.
But your
yes,
husband
that's for
seems...
sure. People do like to speak up.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like everyone seems very supportive. And how's living in Salt Lake City? I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful, but is it really always freezing and snow?
Well, so it's a little bit different. I'm up in Park City, and the winter up here is definitely a lot colder and much more snowy than down in Salt Lake. Salt Lake is much more moderate in terms of its weather than Park City. But no, I mean, the summers here are absolutely spectacular. And, summer in the mountains is just off the charts. Spring is really the worst season because it's the mud season, the snow is melting, and it's not warm and it's not pretty, and there's not a lot redeeming in April, May. But the rest of the year here is absolutely amazing, and it's a ski snow cold. So when the sun's out, it never really feels that cold, even though it might be 25 degrees out. It feels wonderful.
Yeah, the views are absolutely beautiful. But I wanted to know, how did you come up with your tagline, "Jealousy is a disease"?
Yeah, I mean, I am not wired as a jealous person.
Mm-hmm.
I really am. Of course, there are times where something fantastic happens to my friends, and you say, "Oh my God, I wish that could happen to me too." But I say that in like a positive light, rather than like I wish I could be a part of it, rather than I wish it was me rather than them. And the I wish it was me rather than them is what is truly jealousy. And it brings out a very ugly side in people. And, there are a lot of jealous women out there who are not supportive of other women and really are very competitive. And I'm not one of them. So to those women, I do say get well soon.
Okay.
Now, when you met up with all them, I know you've known Lisa for about 10 years. Did you know any of the other women? And if you did, how well did you know them? And were you shocked by some of the things that, that have gone on throughout the season?
Yeah. So, yes, Lisa and I have known each other for close to 10 years now. I met Heather through Lisa about 3 to 4 years ago, probably three and a half years ago. And I didn't know her all that well. We had, gone out a handful of times, but we're more, of not close friends,
Right.
friendly, but not super close. And then the other ladies I met more recently. And, it was surprising to me to see everything. Partially for me, probably because I had not watched a lot of reality television prior to doing this. I had barely ever watched Housewives. So I probably knew the least about this process of anyone, involved. And so, I was definitely kind of surprised. I was like, wow, they're all yelling and screaming at each other on camera,
Yes.
It's very normal. So
That's funny.
So it did take me, a couple weeks to kind of get the whole process and understand, you just go do what you would do. And if that's what you would normally do, then great, no problem,
And what shocked you the most about the whole process?
Probably just the amount of time you're being filmed. I didn't realize that it would really be as much time and as intense. And I guess the other thing I would say is the therapeutic nature of it. It's, I say it's a love-hate relationship, and there are obviously moments that are very intense and upsetting, and that's the hate part. But the love comes in where you are hyper aware of how you behave and how people behave towards you, and the impact of your words and what you say to someone, and how you communicate and how they receive it, which is really interesting because so many times you don't really understand how someone is receiving your messages. And with this process, you do. It is brought back to your attention because, a lot of times I say things and I can be a little bit, curt or abrupt and not mean to it to come across the way that it does. So you learn. And that for me was, a huge process for just my growth as a person. And quite frankly, it saved my marriage.
And how is everything going with Seth?
Great. We are, I would say we're the happiest we've ever been together. We're very aware of one another and the way we treat each other and the way we communicate with each other and in expressing our feelings, which we had suppressed for so much for so long, and just our communication was so awful for such a long time that this has been an incredible process for us. Very good for us. Very positive.
Well, I'm glad to hear that for you and him and the family, because you're both hard workers, and your jewelry line, you're a jewelry designer, and I know that plays on the show. How did you get involved in designing jewelry?
So I came out, while I did start undergrad as a fine arts major, I quickly switched out of it. I didn't know what I could really do in the art world. It is a tough
Right.
space to sit in and a hard place to succeed. And so I had switched out. I went to law school and business school. I was in real estate development and owned a health club and was mugged one morning. And I sort of had this, moment of enlightenment where I was like, I'm not doing what I want to do. And I'm so consumed in it. I'm barely even paying attention to my 3 little kids. And, I need to make some changes. So I took some time off and really explored what I was passionate about. And jewelry had always been a massive passion for me. And so I studied at the Gemological Institute of America for a little bit. And then I kind of dove in head first.
Now, do you wear a lot of the jewelry on the show or all your pieces from your collection?
Yeah, the large majority of the jewelry I wear is from my collection.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Small
They're
amounts
beautiful.
that I'll throw on here or there that are not, but basically it's pretty much mine.
Now, what piece of jewelry do you think every woman should have in their arsenal? What's like a go-to piece? I know as a guy, I always hear, guys need a black suit, women need some sort of black outfit. What's a jewelry piece that all women need? I know for men, I'm a watch guy. I always have my watch. I've been known to go back home upwards of a half-hour ride just to put a watch on to go out.
Yeah, so personally for me, I don't think it's very unusual that I leave my home without having at least a few rings on. I'm a huge ring person, but everyone has to have a simple pair of studs of some sort. Like every woman has to have a basic, easy earring that they can just throw in and not think twice about. But for me, rings for sure.
All right. A ring person. I know Sin here is a handbag person.
Yes, I love handbags. Well, I'm excited to see what you wear.
Too.
I'm excited
don't
to
misunderstand.
Yes, it's all about bags. But I'm so excited to see you on Andy. Are you getting excited? Are you getting nervous? Like, what feelings are like flowing?
You don't know what you're being asked, so it's always a little bit nerve-wracking because, whenever you're going to go on something, it moves pretty quickly and you don't know what the questions are going to be. It's always like you get a little bit anxious. But Andy is so, such a lovely human being that he's a pleasure to talk to. And I don't know, the couple of times I have been on and, of course, the reunion when I was around him, I found it very easy in a strange way, even though I should feel very stressed and pressured. He kind of makes it easy.
No, he's a sweetheart. And Big Fat Joey is in the book Superficial on 2 pages. And Andy's amazing. You're in good hands.
Yeah,
You'll be in good hands.
Really.
But I'm excited. Like, are you ready? You have the outfit out, like the blowout ready, like the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I'll
good.
have it planned out.
We're excited. I was so excited. And now the reunion taped, that's all done, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're ready. It's going to be good. And I
a
have to
little over a
also,
week ago.
I have to tell you also when we, when I'm watching and Joe's watching, you can, like, you and Lisa could be like sisters. Do you ever get that?
It's so funny because, obviously we've seen everyone on social media commenting about the sisters, the twins, whatever it is. And, we had been told here and there, oh, you guys look like you could be sisters before or whatever. But I never really thought I looked like Lisa. Lisa never really thought she looked like me.
Right.
There are instances where both of us have mistaken ourselves for the other. In this
so
process.
funny.
It's never like a long thing, but like there's a moment where she has, a monochromatic suit on, and I see her walking across the screen, and for a split second, I think it's myself. So it's very odd because I really didn't think we looked alike.
No, I think you did. And also, like you said, the suits are beautiful, and you're both gorgeous women. So it's hands down compliment, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I will definitely looking like Lisa Barlow to be a
Yes, yes, you're both beautiful.
See, that's like me and Brad Pitt. Sometimes people think they see me on Entertainment Tonight. Or maybe that's the Peach Pit when they're doing a flashback to 90210. I'm not quite sure. Well, when you see Andy tomorrow night, tell him Big Fat Joey says hello.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Now, Meredith,
I will do that.
are you ready to play everyone's favorite radio game, This or That?
I am ready.
Okay, let's play. All right, Meredith. So we're going to go this, that, and you could definitely say both, okay? Here we go. Sex in the City or Gossip Girl?
Gossip Girl.
Pink or red?
Pink. Hot pink.
Hot pink. Chanel or Dior?
Both.
How about Tiffany's or Harry Winston?
Harry Winston.
Deep dish pizza or New York slice?
Depends how hungry I am. Probably a New York slice much more often than not, though.
And how about Chicago Bulls or Utah Jazz?
Okay, sorry, Utah, but as far as sports go, Chicago will always win.
You're always a Chicago girl, right? Yay.
At the end of it, that's where I grew up.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for playing.
Now, Meredith.
Thank you.
I know there's a lot going on this season, and you mentioned snow. I'm going to have to ask, how do you ladies go out dressed the way you do, beautifully, in that frozen tundra? Like I was saying off air, I've got cleats on my boots so I don't fall and crack my head. Is there some sort of dance that you have with the ice? How's this work?
I don't know.
Well, first of all, I will say I don't do the open toe shoes in the snow. That I could not handle. I have to give Jen credit for that one. There's no way I could do that. But as far as the heels go, it's fine until you get to Main Street and you're going on the decline. If I have to walk down Main Street in the snow in my heels, that can be a challenge. But walking up is no problem. Only on the decline. So sometimes I need a little assistance. Good thing I worked it out with that. If he can give me a hand getting down Main Street.
Absolutely. And what do you miss about Chicago?
Chicago, for me, it's been a little bit difficult, particularly with COVID and with all of the crime that has come about in these recent months there. Chicago has my heart, and we were there part-time up until very recently. We've completely moved out now because there's just, between COVID and the crime and everything going on there, it's a difficult place to be right now. Mm-hmm. And I miss everything about it. I miss having a true urban lifestyle. I miss, the city, the lakefront, the people. I mean, I love Chicago. I do. My heart is always going to be in Chicago.
Well, we're happy you're in Salt Lake City, so we could see you on the TV.
Well, Salt Lake right now, no question, hands down, is a much better place to be. As much as I love Chicago, it's not even close right now. It's a lot easier with what's going on to be in the mountains. That's for sure.
Now, Meredith, how can my audience find, follow, and keep up with everything Meredith Marks and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Sure, of course. So my collection is at meredithmarks.com. I am on Instagram at Meredith Marks, on Twitter at Meredith Marks 0. I have a TikTok with no content at Meredith Marks. Got to work on that one. And everything with Housewives is always at Bravo TV on their Twitter, their Instagram, or BravoTV.com.
Well, that's wonderful. You know what? I feel it because I have one thing on TikTok. All the social media is another part-time, is another full-time job. Forget the job you do all day. It's another full-time job by itself if you want to keep up with all that.
Yeah, I have like 10 full-time jobs going on right now.
Yes. You're very, very busy. And that's what, I understand why it becomes difficult. But you know what, Meredith? It's great having you on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success, and hopefully we'll speak soon.
Yes, and good luck on the clubhouse. We're so excited.
Good luck tomorrow night in the clubhouse. Whoop, whoop.
I want to see your outfit.
Thank you so much for your kind wishes and for having me on today. And it was great to talk with both of you.
Take care. It was
Same
awesome.
here. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Great interview, Sin.
How fun. We had so much fun.
So much fun. You know what? You know what threw me? When you did the Chicago deep dish or New York slice, she went for the New York slice. I was like, wow. A Chicago girl, look for the New York slice. I love all things pizza. I mean,
all things food.
All things food. The New York slice is just so easy and such a handy little snack. You grab it, they have a little piece of wax paper underneath. You can so walk, good. Talk, and chew all at the same time. For those of you who know a deep dish pizza, that's a knife and fork type of meal, and that's the only knife and fork pizza you use a knife and fork on. You don't use a knife and fork on Sicilian pizza or a New York round slice.
You shove it in.
You just put it and shove it in your pie hole. But Chicago deep dish, yes, you definitely need a knife and fork. It's a good pie. I've had it. What was that? Pizzeria Uno? That used to be on Long Island years ago. I don't think they're anymore.
No, it's gone.
But they were Chicago style pizza, so that was always fun to go and eat there. But it was great having Meredith on, and we love the show. So everyone, make sure you catch up with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on Bravo TV. Well, up next is going to be my interview, and then immediately after that, the song "SnowGlobe" by our next artist, Empress. All right, everyone, let's welcome to the line singer, songwriter, ballerina, and actress, Empress. Empress, welcome to the Big Fat Joey Show. How are you?
I'm great, Big Fat Joey. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for being on. I'm excited to speak to you about all the great things you're up to, especially your new single release that came out on December 11th, SnowGlobe, off of your EP, We Own This Crown, which is coming out in spring of 2021. It'll be so nice to get rid of that zero at the end of that sentence. 2021, please. You got to be better than 2020.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you. Yeah, super excited.
So, Empress, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, how you got involved in this crazy world called music.
Good question. Let's see. My childhood, I grew up in a little town called Lake Tahoe, California. Very little dance or music or art in general. It's a very sporty tourist town.
Whole lot of snow.
Yeah, a whole lot of snow. SnowGlobe here, that lines up, doesn't it? I think I crawled out of my mom's womb like dancing pretty much because I started dancing really young. I think I was like 5. My mom said I was 4. I think I was 5 when I first started dancing and really never stopped. It just, my true love was always music. My grandma gave us an old upright piano when I was like 2 or 3, and I would just tinkle around and like make up little songs and stuff. I always had a good ear for music, and moving to music was like, the most empowering thing for a kid. And I became a ballerina, very serious one, at like the ripe age of 7. I knew I wanted to be a ballerina when I grew up. I knew I wanted to be an actress. I knew I wanted to be a singer, even though I didn't really find my voice until later in life. But basically, that took me, all that dance training and stuff that I had in Tahoe took me to San Francisco, where I joined the company at the ripe age of 16. I was the youngest company member, like one of the youngest in history to join, which was like a dream come true for me. And I danced there for 11 years, danced all over the world with some of the best dancers and amazing choreographers, and, traveled to some really amazing places, and that all led me to Broadway. And I ended up joining this show called An American in Paris. The choreographer was a longtime friend from the ballet. I had always danced in his ballet, so I always say my Broadway audition was actually 11 years long, because he ended up asking me to be in the show. He was casting, he needed ballerinas who could sing, and I fit the bill. So I got a job on Broadway, which is so cool. And I did that show for a couple years and did a couple other musical theater things. And it was so cool because I basically had never expressed myself with my voice before. So breaking that silence, really opened up a can of worms, and I literally cannot shut up anymore. So thank you, Broadway, for that. And I started singing, more openly. It was like a very cool environment, because I was not used to making noise. In fact, like, ballerinas take a lot of pride in how quiet we are when we land from big jumps, etc. And then kind of like learning how to break that silence and be okay with that is just like all I wanted to do. And now I have realized that dream of being a singer and always making noise, and a songwriter and a composer, and just making a lot of noise these days. So, and I'm very happy that I found my full circle moment.
Well, the noise you're making is music to people's ears.
Aw, love that. Thank you.
You know what? It's, we're here in New York. It's winter time, and no more apropos could there be a song called SnowGlobe. Where did the inspiration, because I think all children, boy, girl, everyone has had a snow globe gifted to them or wanted one and got one. Where did you get the premise for the song Snow Globe and the title Snow Globe?
Yeah, I love it. Actually, when I was in New York, there was a blizzard that it was my first year in the big city, and everything shut down, and I was home for 24 hours, just like kind of looking outside at this beautiful winter wonderland. And I was sitting at the piano one day trying to figure out what I wanted to write about, and I was like, I've always felt like I was searching for happiness on the other side of a glass, like a dome, basically. Like I was inside a snow globe, always trying to get out to the next snow globe, and then I'd get to the next snow globe, and I would want to get to another one. And so I was never really happy on the inside of my snow globe until this moment where I was sitting at the piano, and I was so happy that I had finally, really connected with music on a different level. And I was looking for inspiration for this to like sum up how I was feeling. And I look outside, and it looked exactly like a snow globe that I had when I was a kid. And I was like, yes, that's it. Like, why didn't I think of that sooner? Because I had been staring at this beautiful snow, for 24 hours, and trying to find a metaphor that could kind of sum up what I was feeling of like, I was always seeking outwardly, but everything that I needed was on the inside. All I had to do was shake it up, and then it turned into this beautiful, magical world. And so I got my inspiration from a giant blizzard in New York, in Manhattan.
and who would have thunk it? Any of these blizzards that we all were cooped up in the house for a day, like, I need to get out. Who would have thunk it years later that we'd all be locked down for just about a year in the house?
Oh my gosh. Actually, you're totally right about that. This song has had so many different meanings over the years for me, but like, it has never been so true for the entire world. We've all been forced to like go inside our snow globe and kind of like, it's not always the happiest place. And to be like forced inside. But it's been really cool because I feel like with all the crappy things that have happened in 2020, and there are a lot of them, it's like, it's so important to remember that, like, you know, like happiness comes from within. It doesn't, and we've been forced to realize this, you know, 'cause we've always been able to go out and hang out with friends and kind of distract ourselves from maybe, you know, the mess that's going on in our personal lives or at home, like physically, like there's an actual mess in your bedroom or something. So, like, you know, for all of us right now, it's never been so meaningful, this song, because of the COVID-19 global pandemic lockdown.
Right, and it's just like a snowstorm, just like a snow globe. When you shake it, and you know, it starts out all blustery, and you really can't see the figurines within the globe. It subsides, right, and then you shake it again, just like this pandemic with its ebbs and flows. 1 minute, oh, New York State is beautiful, everything's fine.
Totally.
Next minute, we got to shut it down. Look, you're in California, everyone's at the beach, swimming, surfing, volleyball. No, we got to shut it down now, and then you reopen it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just crazy, just like a snow globe.
Yeah,
you don't know how the winds are going to turn.
No, that's yeah. I love the metaphor and the visualization of like what my song kind of really means. It's like, you know, always always learning how to shake it up like a snow globe. You know, when times are rough, just shake it up.
That's it. You know, let the see where the snow falls, and you know, give yourself a new path to life, because you know you can erase the old one easily in the snow globe.
That's right. Totally. Yeah,
So,
the grass, for me anyways, was always greener on another you know, side of the fence. And once I realized my little patch of green, you know, grass was just fine, that was when I really felt like everything really connected in my life. It's important for all of us to remember that we can go inward and find our true happiness comes from within.
yes, you know, and speak with a lot of artists. You need to be content with yourself if you expect to produce music that people feel is coming from your heart and soul.
Right. Yeah. It's no good if it doesn't have some meaning in your life. Audiences are way smarter than sometimes artists give them credit for. They understand the feeling, you know. For some reason we kind of discredit the subconscious, but I've been on stage millions and millions, I feel like, or thousands at least, I'll give you that, thousands of times, and I've watched thousands of hours of rehearsals and performances and stuff, and there's something that happens when people are feeling something on stage. The audience can feel it too, and it's just like such a cool, you know, synergetic, you know, thing.
You know,
anyway, so yeah, you have to believe in what you're singing.
Right, and it's funny you say that, because I had I was speaking with a musician a while back, and they said the same thing. Right now, in this time of pandemic, everyone's still producing music, but you know, you're in Tahoe, I'm in New York. We can still get it done. You know, all, you know, four corners of the world. But he says you miss that energy when you're all in the same room feeding off of one another. You know, the song came out good, but not as good as I think it would come out if we were all in the same room, feeding off each other's energy, hearing the music firsthand. You definitely need that vibe.
Yeah, well, we need people. I mean, like, this year has been really difficult. You know, we've all been kind of stranded. You know, and it's not the same. And you're right, the audiences. I think that's why the performing arts. I mean, the performing arts have been hit so hard this year, but I think, you know, people are always worried, will it ever come back? Yes, it will, because people crave that connection with people. I mean, it's not the same. We all got really excited to see our favorite artists in their pajamas the first week of COVID singing, you know, a stripped down version of their, you know, new hit or whatever. And we all got very excited about that. And then it got really boring. I mean, I don't know any person that could deny that. Like, then it just became like, another streaming concert or something. It's just not as exciting. We need each other, you know?
Definitely. The only good that I found out of that was a lot of artists that might not necessarily perform in the New York area that I like were actually online now, so I got to actually see them. So that for me was good.
That is true. Yeah, no, and there's a lot of upsides. So I don't discredit the upsides. There were a lot of things, like specifically the ballet world had no intention of ever really joining the 21st century and like the World Wide Web, you know? So now all of a sudden everything's streaming, and it really just catapulted them into the future and the present, really. And I'm so proud that they adapted, because there was no real incentive for them to change, and they needed to, but they weren't going to do it, and they overnight did it, you know.
Right.
And they can't blame anyone.
Right.
You know, it's COVID-19. We're all going through it. So.
And I think the New York Opera, I think they streamed the Nutcracker, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's right. And I believe I am in that Nutcracker, by the way.
Oh, really?
It'll be a nice little Where's Waldo? Yeah. Somewhere in that. I think I'm in 2 scenes of that. And I will, if you guys spot me, if you watch the San Francisco Ballet Nutcracker, tag me on social media and I'll give you a prize or something. It'll be funny. Where's Waldo?
Gonna have to check that out. But yeah, no, you're right. A lot of institutions that were not as quick to embrace technology, keeping it under the old guard, realized, well, one, we're in a pandemic. If we want to keep our current audience happy, we need to produce and publish electronically some, whatever we're doing, ballets, plays, concerts, theater, because otherwise, it's like they say in any business, what did you do for me today? I don't worry about what you did for me yesterday. What'd you do for me today? And that's how people remember. What'd you do for me today?
Yeah, that's exactly, totally. And it's so cool because they can actually reach more audiences, and the show lives longer. I mean, that performance usually, it, in a sense, it dies every second. There's a piece of it that's never going to be seen or felt again, and it's like, it's so fun to experience that as an audience member, but then, then it's like up to your memory to remember, the show. Whereas when you can film it, it's, it's there, it's captured forever. So it's kind of special in a way that these artists will be able to live on, in a sense, and be preserved.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and I think back when Netflix came out, 10-ish, 15-ish years ago, I want to say, and they were mailing. Whether it was tapes, they were mailing tapes.
That's right, the CDs.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was like, what kind of service is this where I'm going to get videos mailed to me? What is this? I mean, now Netflix,
right.
I think, is $400 or $500 on the stock market per share. So if you bought back then when it was $2, and I think 2004, you could have had yourself a little handsome retirement at this point. But things are moving and changing, and the next EV wave will be electric vehicles, and we already got the Tesla that's rocking and rolling, but you got other companies coming out, and it's just a whole different mindset. Technology. I mean, if you just think about it, TV came out, I think, in the 40s or early 50s. Television came out late 40s.
Wow, and we've come so far in so little time. Yeah, it's really, it is kind of an exciting time for technology. I have always kind of tried to get my fingers into the cookie jar with technology, because I find that they're lacking the right brain connection a lot of the times, which is the artist side, that like creative flow. They think they're creative, but they're more dominating, the left brain. And so I find that when you get artists to collaborate with anyone in the tech industry, it's such an incredible, thing that happens, because I feel like it really kind of explodes everything that everyone was trying to do. The dancing is now able to be seen by, a wider, broader audience, and the technology is perfected because the artists demand a certain level of expertise. And so it just kind of like plays off of each other. And I think it's a really cool synergy that happens.
No, it definitely is. And just the medium today, especially now, you being a musician 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be having this conversation, because unless, a Sony or a Columbia or Epic Records picked you up, nobody would know about you, because,
That's right.
Those were the only streams. And you have this whole EP coming out, We Own This Crown, with your new single, SnowGlobe. It's reaching millions of people, as we speak. Now,
Yeah.
We Own This Crown. Where did you get the title for the whole EP? And, and what's the synthesis of the whole EP? What's it all about?
Okay. Well, I love that. We Own This Crown is it kind of sums up that record is just like, it sums up who I am as Empress and why I chose, the title Empress is kind of like a big bite to chew. I remember calling my music attorney, who is, I think, also in Long Island. He's so great. I called him up and I told him, okay, so I chose a stage name and it's Empress. And he's like, I hate it. And I remember saying, well, I wanted a strong reaction, so that was good. And he goes, why would you call yourself Empress? That's just asking for, asking for it. And I remember saying, well, I'm the Empress of my life, and I want to inspire others to find to become a ruler in their life, just the way that, like I felt after all of these years of being an artist. This was the first time where I was actually like the artist, the canvas, the paint. I was actually like kind of a true creator for the first time, rather than being created on and performing someone else's work and saying someone else's words. And so for me, I finally felt like when I became a singer-songwriter that I was actually the ruler over my own life. And I wasn't waiting for someone else to crown me. It was like a self-coronation. And I thought, ooh, how cool would it be if we all owned our own crown, and each person's crown is like a different, it's each person's crown is their own, and it doesn't have to look the same. And just wearing a lot of tiaras in my career, throughout my career, from the ballet to Broadway and stuff, it was, I know a little more than the average person cares to know about the crown. And, the history of the crown is so fascinating. I've played a lot of like queens and empresses and princesses and things in my career that you do a little history homework, and you realize very quickly how much insecurity is built into this crown, because it's never theirs. It's owned by the kingdom. It's worn while that king or queen or empress or emperor is alive, and then it's passed on. And, a lot of the history shows that, people wanted it sooner than that person was expected to die. So they'd kill the person or off with their head, and then they'd, pass the crown on. And so it was never really theirs. And when somebody doesn't own their own crown and you're waiting for a kingdom to crown you, it's a really intense kind of experience. And so imagine just a world that nobody needs anything from anybody, because they take ownership and they rule their own life. And, how different the world would be energetically if that was the case. So We Own This Crown is about everybody being their own ruler over their own life and crowning themselves.
So basically,
and that's the EP.
So basically, you took the bull by the horns and you ran with it.
Yeah. I've always been a bold person. This is one of the bolder statements, I feel like, that, but I think it's really empowering, and I think we need it as, humans right now, especially during a time when we are, there's a lot of different people telling us different things, and social media doesn't help with like insecurity of I'm not good enough,
right.
It's just a lot of that stuff that's out there. I feel like it's really important to remember that each one of us is unique, different, and that's okay.
Right. And we all have something to contribute, And you need to,
of course, yeah,
take pride in yourself and believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you?
right, exactly. And really, when my career was based on someone else was always in control over my casting, or just it was always up to someone else. It was like, if I wanted something, I had to get through someone else's door, and then when I kind of blew that box up, it's like, all right. I also really wanted, I felt like I could succeed that way, if I could make my own kind of world up in a way, because I also hated labels, which people love to label you.
Mm-hmm.
On Broadway, I was a ballerina, or they called me the prima ballerina, and at the ballet, they called me the Broadway star, and it was like so frustrating, to not be a ballerina when I was being a ballerina. Why can't I just be everything that I'm doing? And it's confusing to people, nowadays, we've got all of these different things that just confuse people because they want to just put you in a box. So it's really important, I think, for me anyway, to be able to create my own empire and build it from scratch. And it's like my own. I'm not ruling over anyone but myself, and it's just really empowering. And I'd love to inspire that, same trajectory for other people.
How can my audience find, follow, keep up with, and get your latest release, SnowGlobe?
Ooh, stream it like nonstop on Spotify. It's my artist name, Empress. And then you can find everything under the sun, Empress, at my website, which is www.empress-music.com. And then, my favorite of all social media is Instagram. And so it's empress.music. And follow me, and I will share all my new music with you. There's a lot of exciting projects coming up, so I'm really excited to share them with my fans.
Well, that sounds great. Empress, thank you for being on the Big Fat Joey Show. I wish you nothing but luck and success in all that you do, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Tried to make the leap with feet of stone, towers falling down. Now I'm all alone, no way home. The past is gone. Lying on the floor with a ghost light on, crying till my tears sing a different song. I dust myself off. I thought it was the end, but it's not. Shake it up like a snow globe, pump it up like a radio. It's never the same way twice. I'm making up my own advice. Now I know that I don't know. I just flow with the cosmos. I'm always knocking on that door. I'm a blinding light. Better wear your shades. What you thought I was got stripped away. It's okay. Even when it rains, I make snowflakes. Shake it out like a snow globe. Pump it up like a radio. It's never the same way twice. I'm making up my own advice. Now I know that I don't know. I just flow with the cosmos. I'm always knocking on that door. Shake it up like a snow globe. Pump it up like a radio. It's never the same way twice. I'm making up my own advice. Now I know that I don't know. I just flow Shake it up like a snow globe.
Loving the song, Sin.
I loved it. Wow, so good.
Great artist. I love having my artists on. It's so much fun hearing all this great music that they're putting out. And I love hearing their life stories. Just like Empress, you know, how at the age of 4, she was captivated by the piano. The black and white keys just drew her into music. And she's done everything from music to ballet to being on Broadway.
Amazing talent, really.
And speaking of talent, I'm seeing the clock on the wall is telling this talent our talent time is just about up.
I don't know where it goes. The time goes so quick, but you know what? If we rush through it, maybe it'll get warmer.
Yes, you know what?
Rest of the day.
It's really the weeks. It's like, okay, today's Sunday morning. Like, hey, it's already Wednesday, Thursday. What happened? What happened to the other 3-4 days
So
this
what are you
week?
doing with your tree? You're leaving it up, and what are you doing with it?
Yes, we still have the Christmas tree up in the house. First, I think it looks like I think it's a mighty fine looking tree. And you know what? With all the doom and gloom that we were all subjected to last year, and still subjected to some of it this year, but you know, 2021 is looking up. I'm keeping the tree up. And you know what? My birthday is in mid-February. I think we're going to make this a Valentine's tree. How's that sound to you,
It
Sen?
sounds great, but I feel like after that it's going to have to come down because it is drying out a little bit.
I'm still watering it. This bad boy's been cut down for over a year now because you know these aren't freshly cut when you get them out at a tree farm. They've been cut down at least over a year ago and put in hibernation, a cold storage. But we'll see. We'll see how it looks come my birthday, which is
In a few weeks.
in a few weeks in February, and then there's St. Patty's Day. So we don't know. I might squeeze it to St. Patty's Day. So this tree might have another 8 weeks of showcasing itself around the house, but. I'm looking forward to that, and thank goodness the dog does not think it's an indoor bathroom for himself. Luckily,
Yes.
we have a good dog who understands that that's not his personal bathroom.
So what's up? What else?
No, that's about it. The clock on the wall, tick tock, tick tock. We
So
gotta
here we go.
We gotta go. All right, everyone. Remember, this is Big Fat Joey, Big Fat Joey Show, biggest thing on radio. Reminding everyone to make every sandwich count. Peace.